Well, there we go. That almost fell over. Okay. Part 5. This goes a little bit before diagnosis. Diagnosis being October of 2022. DBS starting the end of 2024, December, to my last surgery was March of 2025. So this is about THC, medicinal and otherwise. These are just what I've, my personal experience. So this is not, don't take my words and use them against me in any way, because this is just me and it has nothing to do with y'all. I'm just letting you know my experiences. Maybe a little bit of my opinions, what I think, but that's it. So, right before diagnosis, beginning of 2022, I had went and visited my daughter, who at the time was living in Hollywood with her soon-to-be husband. And I hadn't ever visited her yet as an adult, like in her world. And this was, not that long ago, but she had been on her own for quite a while, and I had never really been in a place where I could get away. I was still raising her little brothers, I guess. I don't know what the reasons were, but that was my first time. And talking to her, she suggested that I go with her to a dispensary there in California and talk to a professional. I had, the same stigma a lot of people, Gen Xers or even baby boomers, I don't feel like I was a priss, but I hadn't really ever enjoyed trying marijuana. I don't like not being in control of me. If I can't control me, then I can't control a situation. I'm high strung, wound tight. I could do things, having a couple drinks and being buzzed. I'm fun to be around, I've been told. I'm hilarious. But marijuana is a whole different beast. And I had a stigma against it, if that's the right way to use that word. So anyhow, she talked me into it. I was completely paranoid. I hadn't even done anything yet, and I'm paranoid to just walk in that place. Why do they need my ID? They're going to track me. They're going to do this. I didn't want to give them my ID, and my daughter's just like, Mom, I've been doing this. I'm not in jail. Everything's fine. It's all legal here. So we go in there, and it was actually a very enlightening experience. My first dispensary, nobody was, maybe the other patrons were, but nobody working there was stoned, using product and trying to sell it. So it was a very good experience. My daughter just said, talk to this guy, he knows his stuff or whatever, and let him ask you questions and answer the questions and tell him what you're here for. Well, I didn't know what I was here for, so I had to have her reiterate it for me. Again, I was right before diagnosis. I was in bad shape those few years before I got diagnosed. Shuffling, all hunched over, my head leading my body, and my feet trying to catch up, shuffling with my head just driving my motion. All the other symptoms that I've talked about, and others that I haven't, because to me they were the minor ones. But I had, all the major motor symptoms. So I said I just wanted something for pain and anxiety. And he gave me a lesson on the strains. And sativa or indica. Sativa is for daytime use, keeping awake, motivating, whatever. And then indica is, what he told me, is in the couch, is for sleep. Weight gain, if you need to gain weight. I don't want any of those things, but I did want to sleep because I was so anxious I couldn't shut my brain off at night. I would just lay there for hours tossing and turning with all the pain that I was in, which didn't help my mental state at all. So I got something and was paranoid flying all the way back to Texas with that stuff in my carry-on. I didn't, buy a lot, but I never got pulled over. No dogs came to sniff me or anything. It was nothing. Nowadays, I'll probably would get a little bit more if I went to another state and I had to fly there, but I would put it in a check bag, just to be on the safe side, because I still don't really get all the state-to-state laws and all that stuff. But anyhow, so good experience, good lesson, less paranoid for the next time. So in those next few years, we had gone to like Las Vegas with some friends. We've been to Oklahoma, where my husband's from, and his brother is a doctor there in Oklahoma City. Been to Oregon to see my dad and that side of the family when my dad was still married. And what was the other state? Oregon, California, Oklahoma, Las Vegas, Nevada. I think that was it. Colorado. I have kids there too. So all the other dispensaries I ever went to, people were just stoned. Couldn't answer questions. Couldn't give me straight answers. They were like me, not stoned, not making any sense, bouncing all over the place, not answering questions, not getting to the root of whatever. And in my lifetime, before going to a dispensary, I had one good experience as a teenager smoking pot in the form of a joint. I don't think I ever smoked it from a pipe. One good experience, one happy-go-lucky, relaxed experience. All the other times were not good experiences. And then I had one good experience right after that trip to California. My mom and I took a gummy, and I just took it willy-nilly. I didn't even ask, what's the milligrams, what's this, what strain it is, or whatever. I don't have a clue. I don't know what good. Regardless, I had two good experiences. One as a semi-child, and one as an adult with Parkinson's. I didn't know I had Parkinson's, but yeah. So I was kind of getting the gist of okay, I'm an indica person. And I was using it for that. But my first MDS was against it, and she wasn't going to sign any prescription for it or anything. And so and she gave me a whole slew of scientific mumbo jumbo that I don't know if she was just trying to scare me to not take it because of its interactions with my meds. But I stopped taking it while I was seeing her. And then not as soon as she left, but in the last couple months, I started again because I was off my dopamine. Remember, I took myself off of all my dopamine what is that called? Protest. In protest to, that third doctor, the second neurologist that I didn't like much. He didn't listen to me. But I was taking it because of that thing in my neck that I started getting, and that straining, tight feeling. So I started taking it again to try to relax. And my husband was, here for some of that monitoring of my symptoms after doing that. And I kept telling him I don't like it. And then after he left, I was experimenting a little bit more with sativa. And every time I did something with sativa, either from a pen or a gummy, or smoking from a pipe or whatever, I don't like doing those because my lungs are so already damaged. I'd rather do a gummy or some kind of clean vape, something that doesn't, create more tar or, damage to my lungs. Every time I did some experimenting with sativa, this thing would start tightening up. And then I noticed that I would feel it in my leg too. So basically, I was having a reaction to the sativa strain with my dystonia. I would start cramping. Like it was almost like blocking my dopamine or my DBS from doing any good with the dystonia on my left side of my body. So now it's just trying to find a strain of indica that doesn't knock me out, so I could take it during the day and relax, or I don't want to be eating and having the munchies. I don't want to gain any more weight. I've already gained 15 pounds since all my surgeries, and that's because I'm not moving. I'm not doing anything. I'm depressed. So once, hopefully, the health coach, the combination of the health coach, the Lexapro temporarily, and some form of indica. I don't know, like what name one would be a good one, but if you know strains and names and stuff, the other night I did Donnie Burger. I have a little bit of that to try out. And I can't remember the name of the other one, but I was going to try that today during the day, and hopefully it doesn't knock me out. I don't do a lot. I don't like it. I rather have a couple drinks, but I don't want a day drink. I know that in all seriousness, alcohol is worse than any form of, in my opinion, in any form of THC. More people have died from alcohol in so many ways than they have from marijuana. I wish that there wasn't, this law thing that's happening with THC now, cannabis, hemp, whatever. Everybody's scared that they're going to lose their license to have a store. I don't like that unknowing feeling, but right now it's helping. I'm still in the experimenting phase on which one will be my thing to have for focus. I don't know if there's a hybrid that would be more leaning towards indica, that I can still have the focus and the energy, but not the stress and the strain on my neck. What do they call that for sativa? It's a what do you call that? It's paranoid. I don't like that because that tenses me up. It makes me paranoid. But all in all, it's helping, and I see a lot of people in the Life with Parkinson's support group on Facebook. A lot of people are asking, what do you do for sleep? Well, I tried all the magnesiums. I still take magnesium threonate, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm probably gonna add magnesium citrate because that supposedly helps with the constipation. But I don't feel like it's helping anymore with sleep. So I went back to THC cannabis. And I wish more people that live in states or next to a state, that you go across state lines or something, and either do it legally with a medical marijuana prescription, or do it however you want to do it, however you can get it without, getting in trouble. I did it for the last, minus the couple of years that I went to that first MDS. I was doing it and never got in trouble. I wasn't doing anything wrong with it. I wasn't reselling it or anything. So, if anything, I would say indica strain marijuana in a gummy form or a small, like, hard candy or caramel after dinner time would help you relax, and it's worth trying. Unless you have a job where they, monitor that kind of thing and have a required urine test. But if you're not working, you're just trying to live, this will help you sleep. The man that owns the dispensary down the street is a retired, or I don't know if he is medically retired, narcotics officer. And his son finally talked him into taking a couple hits off a joint. And that one was, I think, called Oreo. It was an indica form. And it was the first time in 2 or 3 years that he slept and had no pain. I mean, isn't that worth it? I guess, I was there too. I had a stigma against it. I had plenty of people in my family that were potheads. And I didn't judge them for it. But for me personally, I had a thing against it, a stigma. And, I still kind of do. I still don't like that I have to go that direction. But if it's going to better the quality of my life and help me sleep so that I can have a full day of whatever with my husband or on the farm or with friends, then I'm gonna partake in that, because I'm going to partake in life. That's all I have to say about cannabis for now. Thank you for listening. Unedited, uncut, unscripted, unfiltered. I'll get that down someday. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.